Real estate is more than just buying or selling a home for a place to live. It's also a way to grow your investments. Real estate expert Libby Beaubien from Keller Williams Realty Advantage is here to discuss what goes into owning investment properties. Thanks for being here, of course.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, you see these shows on TV, you know, people are buying homes, they're flipping them, or they're using them as investments. Kind of give us the do's and don'ts to start with.
Well, there are a lot of things to consider if you want to invest in real estate. One is what kind of property are you looking to invest in? Are you looking for a duplex? Are you looking for a rental? Are you looking for an Airbnb? Are you looking for an apartment complex, right? So figure out what you want, what you can afford, and then also realize, depending on the type of loan that you're going to get, if you are getting a loan for it, you're going to probably have to put down 20 to 25% for the loan. And you can either get a traditional mortgage or you can go commercial loan route. Those are amortized differently than a regular mortgage with a little bit higher payments. So then you got to figure out, what exactly do you want from this rental property? Do you want cash flow? Do you want a little bit of money every month? So your rent needs to be more than what you're paying in. Or do you just want to bank on the appreciation? Do you want a place to park a little money for a little while? So those are all things to consider. And do you want a long-term rental? Do you want a short-term rental? Do you want to do Airbnb? You need to talk to an expert and figure out exactly where you want to be and what your goals are.
Probably more options today than there ever have been for that kind of thing.
Right, and Airbnb got really popular here in Tulsa a few years ago. The market became saturated. So depending on where your home is that you're going to Airbnb, you know, it's not as easy or a good of an idea as it was even just a few years ago.
And a lot of different cities are putting in ordinances and things like that. So you got to look into it, do your research. But is there like a return on investment, let's say, because obviously if you buy an investment property, the AC goes out. A lot of people's ACs are having trouble right now. You got to foot the bill for that. So is there like a 1.5%, 2% range I've heard over?
Yes, a lot of people go by this 1% rule, which is you want a return, well, you want, let's say you buy a $150,000 property, you want your rent to be $1,500 a month. So you've also got to consider that, how much is rent going to be for whichever property, and is it going to cover all of your expenses? A vacancy rate, because, you know, it may sit empty for a month or two before you get it rented. What all needs to be fixed up on the house, the repairs, does it need remodeling? All of those things go into play.
Good emergency fund is important too, because we saw this during COVID when the government said, hey, you don't have to pay your rent for a while. Well,
right.
What
if it's nip and tuck, I don't advise doing this now.
Make sure you get plenty of cash flow out of it, I guess. Okay, so you kind of have to have the stomach to be a landlord too, right?
This is true.
I mean,
a lot can go into it.
So I've heard, you know, somebody will change the oil in their Harley in your living room if you're not careful.
I know.
You know,
so you got to set some rules. And are you going to be the property manager, or are you going to hire a property manager? That's another thing to consider, because a property manager is going to charge somewhere around 10% of the monthly rental rate to manage it. But man, does that alleviate a lot of stress if somebody
else has to deal with
it. And they're going in and checking and making sure the oil wasn't changed in the living room.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so we're running out of time, but just one last thing, just pay attention to interest rates too, right?
Yes, absolutely. And for an investment property right now, if you're getting a traditional mortgage, they're going to be a little bit higher. You can buy that down. If this is going to be your primary home, interest rates right now for a conventional with very good credit is right about 7.35, and for an FHA, it's mid to high sixes right now.
Okay, great advice. Yeah, and hopefully those interest rates will go down for people who do want to do that. All right, thanks for being here. We appreciate it.